I first heard the blues in my own house when I was 5 years old. My mother had this was 1954 in Asheville, North Carolina, where I grew up. My mother had a black woman named Beulah Huggins cooking and cleaning and taking care of me and my little brother. And she'd sing, "Oh, my mama don't allow me to shout all night long," and other stuff, and she'd improvise on it. And I found out years later that what she'd been singing was John Lee Hooker music. It was the blues. The Christian ministers and the Christian community thought that the blues was the devil's music because it had men having infidelity with women and those kind of things, drinking, fighting. It was considered that by many people, not by everybody, and some people looked at it as both kinds of music. The blues and the gospel all got mixed in together. So some people thought it was the devil's music, some people thought it was just good time music, and some people thought it was both. Me and my woman don't get along but one day at a time. Me and my woman.
Where are we? I mean, we're sitting on a couple of chairs, but where are we in the world?
You're on the front porch of the Ground Zero, the blues club co-owned by Morgan Freeman and Bill Luckett.
We're fussing and fighting, and the next day we're doing fine.
You can't not, accept that Clarksdale is the birthplace or the home as anywhere in the world, especially and with rock and roll because of Ike Turner and Rocket 88, and so discovering this history is incredible for me. Being a local resident, grew up here, born here. Matter of fact, we were just voted the number 4 most historic small town in America as per the USA Today Reader's Choice poll. And every town has history, but for Stratford-on-Avon, Shakespeare. For us, it's the blues and Tennessee Williams and our civil rights history and our agricultural history. And so we're really coming to terms embracing that and using that as a way to empower and to grow our town.
Friday we're sitting talking, Saturday I get no peace.
We got to the place that we've been looking for, and I was so happy we found it. The mural on the wall, the railway tracks, the bench where the railway station used to be, the plaque to W.C. Handy discovers the blues. And the story is, as I said on the day.
Hey man, so here we are. This feels pretty epic for me. Tutwiler, there's a train station on this spot. 1903, W.C. Handy, waiting for a train. Heard an old man, a raggedy old man, playing the slide guitar using a knife to make the sound. The myth has it, well, it's not even really a myth, I think W.C. Handy said this. He then took that sound when he went up to Memphis, tried to replicate that thing, record it, write it down, and the blues spread. W.C. Handy, the father of the blues, this train station over 100 years ago.
And then we shot off because we wanted to try and find the Crossroads. The dirt road, where the history says and the folklore says, where Robert Johnson sunk to his knees, sold his soul to the devil, in order to have the spirit of the blues and to channel it in his music. And while we were there, Damien got his guitar out, didn't he, man? And he played some amazing... He just felt like he was channeling the music. He played some beautiful slide guitar. I think he bought a slide that day, didn't he, or something? And he played slide guitar at the place where it all began. And it was... We got where we were going. We saw what we wanted to see. And it is just a dusty crossroads. But to be there on the Harley, having got there from Chicago. That was special for me. And I started singing, I think we sang the Robert Johnson's Crossroads song with Damien playing guitar. And I remember singing about, I fell down on my knees, and I had to get down on my knees, and it was probably really cheesy, but for me in the moment, it was like, I felt like I had to touch that ground. We touched the studio's plaque at Music Row. We touched the piano at Sound. We touched Elvis's mic at Sun. We touched the ground at the Crossroads, man. It felt like we got to the real home of the blues. Yeah, and we had to get on the ropes. We had to get to Jackson. The guys we'd spoken to in Tupelo had said, yeah, you could go to these places, but head to F. Jones Corner, FJC. So that's where the real music happens in Jackson. We go in, and just within seconds, the band is sound checking. And we're like, oh, something special's going on here. I sat in and played with the band, and honestly, for me, that was one of the most authentic musical moments of the trip.
Well, my name is Dexter Allen, and I was born and raised in a little town called Crystal Springs, Mississippi. And born on a farm, grew up raising animals and, growing crops and things like that. And basically going to church, man. That church was my first introduction to music,
Right.
Which I think most guys down here in the South, that was pretty much the introduction, because the South is, very rich in what you call the gospel. God gives you the talent, or either you go to school and learn it, however you get your talent. But you got to learn how to play as a unit. You got to be able to feed and read each other. Because you can play the same song, but it shouldn't sound the same every time, because you're in a different place in front of different people. Let each night, each song have its own creativity. And, don't push it. Have fun with it. Be comfortable, because the crowd can tell when it's part of you or it's just something that you've got rehearsed. The more genuine you are, the more it's you, the more it connects to the people. And one of them came up to me on the last show, and he said, I've seen you do 8 shows back to back, and you did the same songs. He said, but each show you did them all different. He said they all had their same thing, but they were unique each night. I said, because each crowd is different. I don't feel it the same. I said, I'm going to bring a certain amount of energy with me to the stage, and throughout the night, it's just going to be a transfer of energy from the stage to the public, so that's what makes each night unique.